welcome back. At this juncture, we join Newton Tokpa with the news bulletin.
The Liberian National Police has summoned at least 7 members of the House of Representatives as persons of interest in the December 2025 Capitol building fire outbreak investigation. Lawmakers summoned includes former House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa of Grand Creek County District 1, Frank Safoko, Monserrado County District 9, Abu Kamara, Monserrado District 15, J. Marvin Cole, Bon County District 3, Dixon Sibu, Monserrado County District 16, Priscilla Cooper Magiri, County District 1, and Jacob Debbie, Banjida County District 3. The summons issued under the signatures of Police IG Gregory Common mandates Representative Kofa and 6 others to appear at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police this Friday, June 6. The House Chief Clerk Major Sion read the police summon during Thursday plenary. However, members of the lower house have agreed to cooperate with the police request and at the same time instruct the Judiciary Committee and Legal Department to accompany the 7 lawmakers to the meeting. Meanwhile, forensic investigators brought in by the government have since reported multiple ignition points and evidence of chemical accelerants. At the same time, the Liberian National Police has announced the arrest of 2 suspects in connection with the recent arson attack on the Capitol building. According to LMP, the suspects identified as Christian Kofa and Barcos Matthew are currently in police custody and ongoing investigation. Speaking at Mika press briefing Thursday, Deputy Minister Daniel Sando said, contrary to public claims, the individuals were not kidnapped but were also arrested following evidence linking them to the incident. The managing director of the National Port Authority, Sekou Dukle, has been subjected to criminal investigation for allegedly duping Chinese national Yang Dan for over $3 million United States dollars after they both entered into an agreement to establish a mineral water bottling plant in Liberia. This follows a complaint filed by Johnny Momo and Associates Leaker Chimper to the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman to investigate the managing director of the National Port Authority, Sekou Dukle, in connection to the amount. Councillor Johnny Momo, who is representing the legal interests of the Chinese national Yang Dan, is accusing Director Dukle of allegedly duping his client of over $3 million United States dollars from a an associate to Councillor Abraham Silla, who wrote the police to investigate his client. The National Insurance Company, in collaboration with the National Identification Registry and Liberia Telecommunication Authority, have disclosed plan aims at providing health insurance to 5,000 vulnerable Liberians under the pilot project. This initiative will be used to monitor universal medical coverage and ensure ordinary Liberians get proper medication and relief from medical bills. Speaking at Mika regular press briefing Thursday, LTA Chairperson Adula Kamara pledged the entity's support to the program and ensure that the proper technology is provided. It also disclosed that the LTA is expected to launch a Digital Expo 2025 in July to encourage young Liberians to showcase their technological skills in information technology. He highlighted that during the launch of the competition of artificial intelligence will be introduced with 3 different categories of prizes for the best 3 with AI knowledge. Also speaking, National Insurance Company Acting Managing Director Abdullah Suarez said the pilot project will take place in Monserrado, Magiri, and that's Bombing counties. Director Suarez further indicated that the initiative is not intended to undermine health ministry's workings, but to help buttress its efforts. The Slum Dwellers Association of Liberia is calling on the Liberian government to use the observance of the World Environmental Day to put in place proper mechanisms that will address major environmental issues affecting slum dwellers. Speaking to King's FN First State in Monrovia, Bestman, to chairman of SLUNDAL, call for assessment of potential climate change effects and waste management with related hazard of flood, and also urged the government to begin constructing public latrines and drainages in slum communities to improve the living conditions of residents of these communities. According to him, slum dwellers bear the brunt of environmental climates and are highly vulnerable to human and nature disasters, adding that it is important that the government collaborate with the Slum Dwellers Association of Liberia to set in observance of the World Environmental Day. uh, Slumdad wants the government to include two element dimension of the UN Habitat Prosperity Index, which has to do with the environmental sustainability and equality of life to promote the need of climate change adaptation and mitigation measures. A 28-year-old Fulani has been sent to the Morovia Central Prison for allegedly raping a 5-year-old girl. The mother of the victim told police investigators that her daughter was sexually abused in the Wood Camp community in Pinsville. Madam Joanna Mallet further explained to the police that Sunday, June 1st, while preparing for service, she did not see her daughter, adding that while waiting, Abraham David brought her daughter and told her that the defendant took her daughter in an unfinished building and committed the alleged act. But the defendant, Mamadou Diallo, told the investigators that he went into the unfinished building to defecate when he encountered the victim. Our judicial correspondent said the police investigation established that there was no sign of defecation in the unfinished building. Barely 2 days following Liberia's victory for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, Bon County District Number 6 Representative Mama Brice Mensah called for the unification of the region and the Mana River Union member states. Representative Mensah described Liberia's victory as a pivotal movement for all Liberians and the African continent. As the ODS African Republic, there has been a non-permanent member of the UNSC for too long. She indicated that Liberia now stands as a beacon of hope in Africa and the world at large to shape global peace, human rights, equality, and security. Speaking further about her recent engagement at the ECOWAS at 50 Ordinary Section in Abuja, Nigeria, the Bon County lawmaker asserted that she was grateful to be back in the country following a superb representation at the ECOWAS Parliament. Representative Mensah explained that the section served as an eye-opener on many things, highlighting ECOWAS achievements over the years, with Liberia being the founding member and a stakeholder within the ECOWAS member states. The Bon County District Number 6 representative lauded ECOWAS for providing 150,000 United States dollars to the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Health and the fight against mpox, a little over 500,000 for the renovation of the Bow Waterside Clinic and the construction of a bridge over the Kavala River to connect Ivory Coast and Liberia. The House of Senate has officially launched an investigation into the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment use of US 665,000 for project assessments. The upper house will now investigate the reported expenditure of the US 675,000 by the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment list, which claims were used to assess legislative development projects across the 15 counties. Media reports have since indicated made use of the funds doing what the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment called consultation and tour across 6 counties, including Nimba, Bong, Bazo, Bombing, Grand Jude, and Lofa. According to initial investigation, no physical infrastructure could be traced. Maggie County District Number 5 Representative Clarence Gar has donated 20 motorcycles to the United Bolola Parking Motorcyclists, fulfilling a campaign promise he made during the 2023 general elections. Speaking at the event, Representative Gar said the gesture was in recognition of the commercial backrider support during his re-election campaign. He noted that the cyclists play a critical role in grassroots mobilization and outreach during the elections, especially along the Kakata 1 corridor, where most of them operate. Representative Gar praised the cyclists for their unity, patience, and dedication throughout the campaign and reaffirmed his commitment to the continued collaboration. He encouraged the motorcyclist union members to use the donated bags for their intended purpose, stressing the importance of accountability and responsible ownership. The donation was made on Wednesday during a presentation ceremony in Perkinstown, attended by local chiefs, elders, youth, leaders, and residents from across the district. At the same time, Gibby County Superintendent Victoria Duncan has officially donated two brand new TVS black exhaust bags to the Liberal National Police Gibby County Detachment to enhance their operations. During the event, the Gibby County Superintendent commended the county Police Commander Patrick Komazu and his team for their efforts in fighting crimes, protecting lives and properties in the area. She disclosed that the funding came from the County Development Fund. She emphasized that the importance of the back is in support of the LMP in combating crimes in the community and beyond. Superintendent Duncan, however, used the occasion to call on citizens of the county to collaborate closely with the police for the betterment of the community. Receiving the bags, Commander Patrick Komazu extended thanks and appreciation to the county leadership and promised to use the items for its intended purpose, noting that the new bags will significantly aid police operations, particularly in reaching hard to reach areas in the fight against crime. The turnover ceremony took place on Thursday at the superintendent's office in Kakata. And the Civil Law Court has granted former DEA boss Connor Abraham Kumar's motion to dismiss the Fatika brothers' appeal. Hassan Fatika and Hussein Fatika have since been adjudged liable in an action of damages for wrong in the tune of 1.5 million United States dollars in connection to S-Boss lawsuit against them. Judge George Smith, Thursday, according to our judicial correspondent, granted Kumar's request by reaffirming his May 6, 2025 liable verdict against the Fatika brother. The judge's decision was as a result of a motion to dismiss the appeal filed by the former DEA boss after the Fatika brother failed to perfect their appeal consistent with Chapter 24, Section 24.1 and 2 of the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. Judge Smith's June 5, 2025 decision maintained that failure of the Fatika brother to perfect the appeal is a fit ground for dismissal. Our judicial correspondent said the court's decision has ended full litigation into the matter and the court decision will be enforced against the Fatika's brothers in a couple of days consistent with law. An action for damages for labor was filed on February 6, 2025, where the two defendants accused Conor Kroma of removing the CCTV from the home of convict Josh Obi alias Japan, a notorious drug dealer. The two brothers alleged that the 200,000 United States dollars were stolen from the home of Japan by the former boss while carrying on the raid. Minutes after the court's ruling, complainant Abraham Kroman told judicial reporters that the court's decision would serve as a deterrent to people who malign people's character.
Newton Tokba with the news bulletin. The news bulletin is a regular featured on King's News Broom. A reminder you're listening to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Stories will follow in tonight. Former House Speaker, Councillor Fonati Kofa, and six other representatives summoned by the Liberia National Police in connection to the December 2024 Capitol Building House investigation. National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Tukle accused of doping the Chinese national more than US 3 million. The Chinese legal representative consider Johnny Momon says the NPA boss took the money under the pretense of constructing a mineral water bottling plant. Government of Liberia announces health insurance for 5,000 vulnerable citizens in Monserrado, Mangibi, and Bomi counties to monitor universal medical coverage and relieve citizens from medical bills. We'll take a break to be back with voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The Liberia National Police has summoned at least 7 members of the House of Representatives as persons of interest in the December 2024 Capitol building fire outbreak investigation. Lawmakers summoned include former House Speaker Councilor Fonante Kofa of Grand Crew, District 1, that's District 2, Frank Safoko, Monserrado District 9, Abu Kamara, Monserrado District 15, J. Marvin Corbon County District 3, Dixon Tebow, Monserrado District 16, Priscilla Cooper, Mangibi District 1, and Jacob Debbie Granjide District 3. The summons honor the signatures of Police RG Gregory Coleman mandates Representative Kofa and the 6 others to appear at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police this Friday. However, members of the lower house have agreed to cooperate with the police request at the same time instruct the Judiciary Committee and the Legal Department to accompany the 7 lawmakers to the meeting.
Minister requesting some of our colleagues as it relates to the acts of the time. And actually requesting our colleagues for some discussion. So as they reside in keeping with our proceeding with interacting of motion and legislative to act to allow our colleagues to proceed as respected of the rule of law. Honorable Madam President.
I will, if I can second it, our colleagues has requested by the Justice Ministry to appear as the stated in the communication and the Judiciary Committee and also our legal team can also escort them to get back to leadership and plenary. If I can second it.
At the same time, the Liberia National Police has announced the arrest of 2 suspects in connection with the recent national attack on the Capitol building. According to the LNP, the suspects identified as Christian Kofa and Barcos Matthew are currently in police custody and undergoing investigation. Speaking at Megat press briefing Thursday, Deputy Information Minister Daniel Sando said, contrary to public claims, the individuals were not kidnapped but were arrested following evidence linked them to the incident.
The Liberia National Police has confirmed that it has 2 individuals in custody. They are being invited in connection to ongoing investigation in the Capitol building arson attack. One of the individual, Barcos Carpet, is at the police station. The police will talk to him when his lawyer is available. The other individual, Christian Kofa, was represented by counsel, and we are told by the LMP that significant progress into the investigation will be made today, and hopefully it might be formally charged, filed at the court. There will be no room for speculation. This is why the Ministry of Information is here. Explain to you what the government is doing. So contrary to information being circulated on social media by some of our friends, nobody has been kidnapped. The police got a duty to investigate. The Capitol building is a symbol of our democracy. And some individuals, for reasons best known to themselves, decided to set their base. And I've always said that if a crime is committed, the security apparatus, the government, has got a duty to re-establish order, identifying, arresting, charging and prosecuting people linked to that crime is the process of restoring order. You remind them that as a government here, in the crime they committed, the things you did, as per our criminal procedure law, the penal law, are considered crimes in our jurisdiction. And so they will be prosecuted in keeping with law.
Deputy Information Minister Daniel Sano. The National Insurance Company, in collaboration with the National Identification Registry and the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, have disclosed plans aimed at providing health insurance for 5,000 vulnerable Liberians on the pilot project. The initiative will be used to monitor universal medical coverage and ensure ordinary Liberians get proper medication and relieve them from medical bills. Speaking at Mega Regular Press Briefing Thursday, LTA chairperson Abdullah Kamara pledged the entity's support through the program and ensure that the proper technology is provided.
And this MOU signals the significance of interagency collaboration. It means that if there is a national cost, government institutions can collaborate and find an amicable solution that will be in real time. The war, as we see it now, you cannot.
Today will be a very big news. For the first time in the Republic of Liberia, the government is initiating health insurance for the underprivileged and the most needed in the society. The LTS is pleased with the intervention of digital tools to support NICO, which is the implementer of the scheme. And of course, they will highlight the details on how that will be done. The LTA under the Digital Transformation Program is the key sponsor for the pilot project. And we're saying pilot because, as you know, it is the first time. There's a lot to be learned in this process. We don't know all the details of pros and cons of the program. So we intend to pilot with between 3,000 to 5,000 people across 3 counties to test the system for the next 6 months, starting July 1st.
Also speaking, the National Insurance Company Acting Managing Director Abdullah Soiree said the pilot project will take place in Monserrado, Mangibin, and Bome counties.
And this MOU signals the significance of interagency collaboration. It means that if there is a national cost, government institutions can collaborate and find an amicable solution that will be in real time. The war, as we see it now, you cannot in any way do away with technology. And with the threat of AI, how do we, the chairman explained that they will be launching a lot of digital projects, products in the coming years. How do we leverage technology to our own benefits? So that is the idea around it. And NICO stands as the risk taker. And we want to urge all Liberians that this is an ambitious project. And the president is very passionate about this. And we as a national insurer, we are only on a mandate to ensure that the president's dreams are realized. And I remember a few years ago when you always have doubting Thomases. When a few years ago, I think it was on Madam Salif, when Liberia contributed its first contribution to peace building by deploying some members of our armed forces, and you had a lot of debates. I was still struggling we're still coming out of war. Our army is not developed and everything. Why are we sending our men, into harm's way? But that answer, those doubts were clear when our men and women went over there and did exceedingly well. And Liberia today we are not remembered for killing one another anymore. We are remembered for things that the rest of the world is admiring us for, and that's evidenced by.
The Slum Dwellers Association of Liberia is calling on the Liberian government to use the observance of the World Environment Day to put in place proper mechanisms that will address major environmental issues affecting slum dwellers. Speaking to King's FM Thursday in Monrovia, Bestman Tour, chairman of Slumda, called for assessment of potential climate change effects and waste management with related hazard of flood.
Every year we have to experience flood. And this is the reason why on this day, Environmental Day, World Environmental Day, we are calling on the government to pay attention to the environment. The environment is getting critical for us, the slum dwellers. We are not living better living conditions. So we are calling on the government to do something about it. Right, and there are many things that the government have to do, but they can do it little by improving on public facilities such as latrines and drainages, and maybe provide some source there to fill in gaps that keeps the waters in the area. Yeah, these are cardinal points that they can. That yes, I think it's a flashy report because they have to do some assessment and come up with that analysis. So I accept that report, and even more than the number that has been projected, 60,000 persons. So I think it is correct in that direction. Yeah, we talk about waste management. Waste management is one of the things. Putting waste in the drainages can cause the blockage of the flow of waters. And so we call on the slum dwellers to know that putting dirt all around the area, garbages all around the area can cause the flood to even stay long before leaving the community. So we are calling on them to be very aware of that. What we are now, and we are now calling on this government and our international partner to bring in support so that we can all collaborate. So we want the government to always work with us. We are not crackdown politician government. We engage government on a dialogue. Yeah, they have to do, especially the UN Habitat and other organizations, international organizations that want to help.
His Slum Dwellers Association of Liberia chairman, Bestment Tour. A reminder you're listening to King's News Broom 45 minutes news about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Service following tonight, former House Speaker Councillor Fonati Kova and 6 other representatives summoned by Liberia National Police in connection to the December 2024 Capitol building assault investigation. National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Dukle accused of duping a Chinese national more than US 3 million. The Chinese legal representative, Councillor Johnny Momo, says the NPA boss took the money under the pretense of constructing a mineral water bottling plant. The government of Liberia announces health insurance for 5,000 vulnerable citizens in Monserrado, Mangibi, and Bomi counties to monitor universal medical coverage and relieve citizens from medical bills. Away from home, the Central African nation of Chad says it is suspending all visas to U.S. citizens as a matter of reciprocity, after learning that it is one of a dozen countries whose nationals are banned from traveling to the U.S. Zambia's former President Edgar Lungu has died at the age of 68, his party has said in a statement. Take a break to be back with more voices. Welcome back and thanks for being there. Barely 2 days after following Liberia's victory for a non-permanent seat at the UN Security Council, Bon County District 6 Representative Moema Briggs Mensah called for unification of the region and the Mano River Union member states. Representative Mensah described Liberia's victory as a pivotal movement for all Liberians and the African continent as the oldest African republic that has been a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council.
Recognize everybody. So what I would say, I'm grateful to be back
Thank God. We had a wonderful representation. I always say it's a privilege to be on the representation of the region because it gave you more eye opener on a lot of things. So we just went for the culinary session. You know, we have various sessions. We have extra culinaries and we have culinary. So we went for the culinary session, and in the culinary session, we also observe the celebration of ECOWAS as 50. ECOWAS just turned 50 years, and those achievements, things that they have achieved over the years. We are excited that Liberia is funding member of ECOWAS, and Liberia have continued to contribute to ECOWAS. So our relationship for the region and with ECOWAS is very good. We have few reports, delocalized meeting, like gender, where I am the second rapporteur, and security affairs and all the political affairs and regional trade and everything. We had a delocalized meeting. We were looking at the countries that are trying to pull up, the three countries, the Sahara.
Yes,
So at least we at least adopted a resolution. It's a win for Liberia. It's a win for everybody. Because I know even the little child prayed that this work. And I was excited yesterday that was part of history 62 years ago. We didn't see this happening. So even if the next thing, and one of the things I would say is we need to make the most of it. Some countries are going 11 times. We are so 170 something years old. We just going the first and the half time, because you know that the last time we went 62 years ago, Angie Bronze Rwanda is another country that just fair sorry for all true negotiation and gave us 6 months. So we didn't win it totally. We didn't win, but they thought it wise to say being a founding member and how we always been supporting other nations. They did it. So all 190 some more 90%, and you had 81% voting for us and 9% didn't vote, but it was a good vote. So what we need to do, we need to use this seat to what? Unite, to unify the region, to unify the Mano River aspect of it, try to be a greater force with this Mano River. I think the Mano River is just being slacked down. So at Women Legislative Caucus, we need to also fund the Mano River Women Legislative Caucus. The same go to the government. I think we need to be more involved in the Mano River country to see how we can unite together. And if you all of Africa is a win, we need to come together and make sure to see what we can do to affect Africa. That other people will also look up to us, and that even the United Nations, the next 1 or 2 years again, when we want to apply for it, they will say, yes, Liberia made an import and they made a greater import, and this is what we need to do. So there are guidelines. There are things we need to achieve. So we just need to look at it keenly, and as citizens, everyone of our government reach out to the citizen, and we all get involved with it and make sure that this win shouldn't just be a celebration for yesterday and then we don't achieve anything, but it should be something that after the next 2026, we will be there to show the tangible and will be measurable on what we won and what we achieve and how much we can have a visibility in the United Nations country that anytime we apply for it, we will have it.
Bon County District 6 Representative Mwema Briggs Mensa. Mangibi County District 5 Representative Clarence Gall has donated 20 motorbikes to the United Bololai Parking motorcyclists following a campaign promise he made during the 2023 general elections. Speaking at the event, Representative Gall said the gesture was in recognition of the commercial bike rider support during his re-election campaign.
What is it? Thank you. You know, I always tell people, they have a saying, the Nigerian men can pronounce it, the agreement. Agreement. This thing that I run a Suzu. You put my own, I'm gonna put your own. So true. If I not put your own, I will still come back after you reject my hand. Right? Yeah. But if I put your own in time, when I come back to you, say no. You can still go the second round of the Suzu. I want to say thank you to you. Again, most of the time when people criticize me, I don't talk enough. It means I'm weak. My strength is to listen, make, use out of the criticism, and see what best I can do and come out. Like I always say, I treat myself like a dump site. You go on the dump site, there will be Timo Ways there will be
face jail wheels there, riding food wheels there. But at certain time, you go to that thing, dumpster, you take fungi from there. You take paper from there, you take pornography from there. So the dumpster will take it there and will give you something good. I hold nothing against anybody. You, in leadership, when people criticize you, make you stronger.
He's Mangibi County District 3 Representative Clarence Guy. At the same time, Mangibi County Superintendent Victoria Duncan has officially donated two brand new TVS motorbikes through the Liberia National Police Mangibi County Detachment to enhance the operations.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today is a unique day for us. In that we have gathered together, come up with a decision as county administrators, seeing the hard work of our police commander in the county to try to buttress its efforts. We know that right now we have some financial constraints, but notwithstanding, it's much and more is in it. So we have decided that in order to make it more effective, to reinforce the effectiveness of two rights from the county development funds for the use of the county guard our security apparatus in the county, especially the police office of the commander of the National Police in the county. So, on behalf of the county administration of Mandalay, you have done a very good job and you continue to do it. We know that we will come. But just to say that we recognize what you're doing for this country, your works are not going to do it. Ourselves, we try to social media, in physical, look at the police station in the country. I got one line, you know, you have to sit down on the phone there. So we appreciate everything you and your team do in this country. And just for a little appreciation for these rights that to make our work more effective to enforce what you are doing. So please receive this little bit from us as we pray for more income for the country, the more time, the more we will do. So on behalf of the country administration, I present these things to you. As a token of our appreciation for the work you are doing.
Receiving the motorbike, Commander Patrick Comonzo extended thanks and appreciation to the county leadership and praised or promised to use the items for its intended purpose.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Okay, so very thank you for it on behalf of the Liberia National Police, the Inspector General of Police, we appreciate you a whole lot for focusing our effort. We can assure you that these tools are going to be used, to set our work out there more effectively so as to make sure we bring calm to the people of Nigeria. So, very thank you for the gesture. We are very happy for this, and words can say it all, but we can assure you that we're going to use it and take good care of it so as to make sure it serves the people of Nigeria. Thank you all so much. Thank you. While it's true that we have free services, we also going to make sure we take good care. Instead of take care of services, so we take good care of it, and not to barely use so much. So we have to take very good care of it for the service of the people. I can say that this is not little. This is very much. Having the county taking on the police and for our job, this will serve as a motivation to continue on the right path to ensure that we protect the people of Nigeria and deliver the police to them. So we really appreciate the offices of the superintendent for this gesture. What could be some of the challenges you want to talk about? Well, challenges are enormous, especially on the field of work. What I can say, we've been working even before we got people, so the challenges have to do with facility. We have developed that has not scored our work, that has not discouraged us from working. We're going to continue to work as our efforts are going to people who you see the need to assist us. How effective are you going to be with the provision of this? More effective. This is an added advantage to us to ensure that we reach out there. Anything specific? No, thank you. We appreciate your cooperation. Thank you.
Mangibi County Police Detachment Commander Patrick Komozu. And you heard the voice of Mangibi Superintendent Victoria Duncan. Away from Liberia, the Central African nation of Chad says it is suspending all visas to U.S. citizens as a matter of reciprocity after learning that it is one of a dozen countries whose nationals are banned from traveling to the U.S. Chad has neither plans to offer non-billions of dollars to give, but Chad has its dignity and pride. Continuing, President Mohammed Idris Deby into his Facebook post, Africa is the continent worst affected by the travel ban announced by U.S. President Donald Trump, with 7 of the 12 countries on the list. It is set to come into effect on Monday. And Zambia's former president Enga Longo has died at age 68. His party has said in a statement he had been receiving specialized treatment in South Africa for an undisclosed illness, the Patriotic Front added. Longo led Zambia for 6 years from 2015, losing the 2021 election to the current president, Hakainde Hichilema, by a large margin. After that defeat, he stepped back from politics but later returned to the field. He had ambitions to vie for the presidency again, but at the end of the last year, the Constitutional Code barred him from running, ruling that he had already served the maximum 2 terms allowed by law. Well, on that note, that's how we come to a near end of this edition of King's Newsroom. But before we leave, a quick reminder of stories we followed in the headlines. Former House Speaker Councillor Fonati Kova and 6 other representatives summoned by the Liberia National Police in connection to the December 2024 Capitol building as an investigation. National Port Authority Managing Director Sekou Dupley accused of duping the Chinese national more than US 3 million. The Chinese national legal representative, Councillor Johnny Momo, says the NPA boss took the money under the pretense of constructing a mineral water bottling plant. The government of Liberia announces health insurance for 5,000 vulnerable citizens in Monserrado, Mangibi, and Bomi counties to monitor universal medical coverage and release citizens from medical bills. Away from home, the Central African nation of Chad says it is suspending all visas to U.S. citizens as a matter of reciprocity after learning that it is one of a dozen countries whose nationals are banned from traveling to the U.S. Zambia's former president Edgar Lungu has died at the age of 68. His party has said in a statement. And thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped in making this edition of King's News success. Nathan Topper brought you the news bulletin. Sam Andrews, Sarah Control, and handled the technical aspect of this edition. On behalf of the team, I'm Shema. There, I present you. Thanks for listening and watching.